So hi guys. So just today I had a call with one student from Tamil Nadu and I got this idea to make this video. Sir, how to get exemption in any subject? So this is the question he asked. But I don't want to give a standard answer. So I spent some 10 minutes time and I asked and I made him to figure out what is the root cause of the problem, why he couldn't qualify. First of all, forget about exemption. We always look for immediate solutions rather discovering why I failed. Can I tell you what is the reason for your failure? You can assess. You need not ask anybody. The moment you look at question paper, any of these two questions only it strikes. The moment you look at one question, any of these two will strike. One, I have studied, I have seen this similar adjustment or a similar concept somewhere. I have read this, but unable to recap. Unable to recap. Might be my preparation was wrong. So you realize in examination one thing, that your preparation was wrong, but you know strongly that the concept whatever is tested in exam, you have seen it, you read it. You read it. Maybe you ignored it later on, okay, because you felt that difficult, you ignored and considered it as a B category or C category, but you know that concept thoroughly. Second point, second question that it strikes, a weird thing. Where is this concept there in the material which I studied? This concept was not explained in the classes. We have seen all the problems in amalgamation. We have seen all the problems in consolidation. We have seen all the concepts in so and so, a chapter in law or audit. But I didn't came across this kind of question in my coaching at all. The questioning itself is completely different. Which means you are getting a question on syllabus itself. You are getting a question on syllabus coverage. You know what? Students, many of them are getting approximately, to whom I interacted, 80% of the students are having the second problem. I think those of you watching this video, you just figure out right now. You think, just think for a moment. When you look at a question paper or when you're solving in examination, what is the most difficult factor that you faced? Like when you are reading the question paper or trying to solve the question paper in exam, have you felt that there is a problem with your preparation because that question that concept that everything you covered, that concept means, I'm telling you, first of all, understand amalgamation. I said no, not that. Inside amalgamation there are various adjustments. Suppose example, in amalgamation there are some 25 adjustments that were there. In that, one of the adjustment is tested in exam. You solved all the 25 modes of adjustments. Example. But the same one came in the examination, but you are unable to answer it because of some other reason. Then it is problem with your preparation approach. You have not seen, sir, I studied only 15 adjustments. This kind of adjustment, this kind of problem, this kind of case scenario, I never came across. Then it is about your syllabus coverage. The problem with your this thing is syllabus coverage. And you know what? Sir, now I understand, sir. Yes, I may fall under the second category. I may fall under the second category. Yes, it is because of the coverage of the syllabus which I did. Yes, many questions when I'm solving in exam, I got this question, where is this topic coming from? Which material they are using? In the material which I used, it was not covered. Okay, let me look for another material, another powerful material for my next attempt. Arey man, how do you change your material depending upon the question paper? Don't you have sense? Don't you think of it? Everything in the question paper, every concept in the question paper comes only from the study material of ICA. Only from study material of ICA. And you know what? More than 90% of the coaching institutes materials, more than 90% of the coaching institutes, various coaching institutes, their materials, they are not covering 100% syllabus of ICA. Yes. They are not covering 100% syllabus of ICA. Example, I remember one issue with when I'm discussing with our accounts faculty. In the December attempt 21 or July attempt, they asked a question about write about accounting equation. Something they asked, a question called write about accounting equation. Something, a theory question. And what he told me was, this accounting equation point is there somewhere in the ICS study material in the one chapter at a particular para. 99% of the other books also did not cover that. You know that? And of course, many coaching institutes did not cover that in their syllabus. Naturally, tell me, you are most of us, 95% of the students studying CA, what is the mode of learning we follow? Coaching mode of learning, correct? We generally depend on coaching institute. Am I right or not? So 90% of the students depend on coaching institutes, remember. And coaching institutes explain classes by using their own materials. Now this is the very important source point. This itself is your success factor. This itself is your failure factor. Yes. This material is one of the important factor either for your success or for your failure. Fortunately or unfortunately, these materials are not covering entire study material. Covering entire study material means not problems in study material, understand, concepts in study material. Suppose in ICS study material there are 100 concepts, but you will find practice questions in the same material only for 40 concepts, not for all the concepts. You take company law or you take audit, CA final or CA inter, anyone, any subject you take. Suppose you take company law at CA final or CA inter. In a chapter, let us assume there are 25 concepts, but you see practice questions, how many are there? Some 8 or 9. Coaching institutes, many claim that we cover 100% ICA material. They cover this and say they covered 100%, but not this. This is the problem. And student, I don't blame here student with respect to this problem. I don't blame the student, because when a student comes to us, it is our responsibility to give him 100% what I say expect us to give you. What I say expects from you that you have to read entire study material. Since you can't read on your own, what are you choosing? You are going for coaching institute like us. Now what we have to do, whatever you are supposed to do, we have to do that. Am I right? So what, so naturally what we need to do, we have to cover entire ICA material. You know what? I'm proud enough in my CA final audit, in our CA inter, all 8 subjects, we covered each and every concept in ICA material. We didn't ignore it all. We covered. That is why our materials are little bulkier, 20% bulkier than others materials. The only reason, and remember, we don't cover too many problems from past 20 attempts, past 15. Array, it's not required, man. CA exams have become a real standard only from 2019. Before 2019, the exam standard was very nominal. There is no point of covering those questions. They're very simple questions, straight questions. From 2019, whatever questions were asked in question papers, they were really good. They are testing really the analysis of the student rather than the information, that student is, remembering. So the standards have changed, but the problem is many coaching institutes could not change up to this standard. They could not. Even today, there are so many who could not even realize this. We have so many admissions without direct marketing. We are having so many admissions at CA Inter as well as my CA final. The only reason, we give comprehensive coaching. Anyone who ever failed multiple number of times, if they come to Sreshta or if they come with my classes for CA final, they feel they were cheated like, so much. That's what their feeling is. The only reason is, me and my team members, we strictly believe. And one point, you see any of my previous videos or our classes, we never talk about how much we work in backend. That's irrelevant for a customer, man. When I go for a restaurant, I ordered for dosa, and the person coming and explaining how difficult it was to make a dosa. Why would I listen to him? At the end of the day, what matters is the quality, the taste is there. That's it. Why do I bother about what you're doing in the background? That's none of my business. Same way, what work we are doing in the backend, that's irrelevant for you. What we are giving in the foreground, what we are giving to you ultimately, what you are benefiting, that is only important for you, right? So we don't talk about anything what we do in the backend. It's unnecessary for the student. So many students are choosing coaching as the medium. Coaching as a medium. Listen to this now, very careful. Most important thing you are going to get. And this coaching institute is using this material. And this material is covering only hardly 70% of the concepts of ICI. And student is also covering only that 70% and then going and going for preparation. And you know what? One more big problem in many institutes which I see especially, the student is not getting, the student must get a strong connection. I always feel a strong connection with the material is required. Strong connection with the material. What do you mean by strong connection with the material? You know what we do? We explain the concepts completely practically. Suppose if our accounts faculty is there at CA Inter, or if myself is there at CA Inter Audit or CA Final Audit. Suppose when I'm explaining a topic on peer review, or when he's explaining a topic on financial statements, what we do first, what do you mean by financial statements? We take various websites, open, download, and interpret. Especially our accounts faculty, when he is taking accounting standards, in accounting standards, disclose this, so and so will be there, right? We show it. We relate it to that in the real life financial statements, and then come back to the material, read word by word, and whatever the concept we gave you, we connect it here, so that student will get sync with the material. The main problem, one more problem which students are facing in coaching is, they listen to the classes, but the material they are not getting connection. The material they are reading is not getting connection. So later when they're reading, they're feeling like, oh, this material is not, in relation to the class I listened. So what I listened in the class and this material, it's not syncing. We do that syncing as well. This is important, to have a familiarity, strong connection with the material. And when you have strong connection with the material, you revise much faster. This is one more important ingredient which is required. When you depend on coaching, when your coaching was comprehensively went, and when your materials were, when you got a strong establishment and connection with the material, and when you read the material and revise the material, when you read and revise the material, you naturally qualify with exemption. If you want to get the exemption, you have to read and revise the material comprehensively. The comprehensively you can read, only the material cover it comprehensively. When the material covers comprehensively, only when the coaching institute that you are selecting believes in this principle, comprehensive coverage. So the root cause is coaching institute and material. Figure out the right material. And if at all a concept is not known for you in the material, I know here I need to even blame the students as well. They want short materials. They want fast track materials. They want chart books. They want 100 pages material. Entire 800 pages material, they want it in 100 pages. How it is possible? You are asking for shortcuts and you're paying for it now. Don't go for that. See, by ignoring shortcut and by following right approach, I can't guarantee you success, but I guarantee you will not fail. If you follow the right approach, I guarantee that you will not fail. I may not guarantee your success, but I guarantee that you will not fail. This is my take on the entire how to get exemption. This is a question student asked me, and I gave this explanation, and I thought of giving this information to every one of you so that you understand. You also discover what is your reason. What is the reason? See, think more. Don't ask anybody, sir, I'm failing many times. Generally, what is the standard answer I heard from many? Sir, I'm failing multiple times, so tell me immediately, I can skip the student and say, hey, do that reading, cover ICI material, revise 3 times. That's a very useless answer. I'm not super in English, so I use only simple English. So that's a very useless answer. Figure out what problem the student is facing. And I covered in this video comprehensively what are the problems students are facing. What are the problems the students are facing comprehensively I covered in this video. Most of you, whoever is watching this video, your problem is covered as part of this. I think so, to the best of my knowledge. So stop worrying, start working in the right direction. At least, chart books, short notes, summary notes, colored notes, mnemonics, revision classes, fast track classes, all these will help only when the ICI gives straight questions and paper standard was dead easy. If the ICI is giving exam paper at a little higher standard, none of this work. None of this work out. I'm telling you. Maybe some students who followed this may qualify. Luck should favor them, right? Luck favors them. But 90%, it depends upon your work culture. Go with the right work culture. Don't look for shortcuts. Come here, I will bring you exemption. No, don't believe all of them. Don't believe all of them. Getting it? That's it. Carry on. Have a nice time. And by the way, CA Inter students, we are giving free material, study material. You can download our application from Play Store. Read the description below. We have description, no video description YouTube. So read the description below and you will find our application link, Play Store. Download that application. In the material, you can find our materials, CA Inter updated materials. That's it. All the best.